Hello, it's me, Reed.
Hi there, I'm Jennifer.
Welcome.
Welcome to another Faith at Home listening practice. We're glad that you're here with us today.
Mm-hmm. We're doing Psalm 53
Yeah.
and listening.
What are we listening for?
Well, what our pattern has been is to listen for something that just sticks out to you, something in the passage maybe, or something that just the idea that jumps out at you when we read through it the first time. The second time we read through it, you're listening for an invitation. Like we're not just listening to this. We're trying to hear God speak to us, and God is wanting to tell us things. And an invitation is something God can tell us.
So if you're new here with us today, welcome. We're really glad to have you along with us on the journey. We like to have something to write on and write with so that we can keep notes over time of what we hear the Divine Family speak to us. You might want something to keep track with for yourself. Mm-hmm. So as we listen today, Reed, would you start us off?
Sure. It's Psalm 53, and we're reading in the New Revised Standard Version, for those who are keeping track for some reason. Anyway, so Psalm 53. Fools say in their hearts, there is no God. They are corrupt. They commit abominable acts. There is no one who does good. God looks down from heaven on humankind to see if there are any who are wise, who seek after God. They have all fallen away. They are all alike perverse. There is no one who does good. No, not one. Have they no knowledge, those evildoers, who eat up my people as they eat bread and do not call upon God? There they shall be in great terror, in terror such as not been. For God will scatter the bones of the ungodly. They will be put to shame, for God has rejected them. Oh, that deliverance for Israel would come from Zion. When God restores the fortunes of God's people, Jacob will rejoice. Israel will be glad.
This is quite a psalm. Mm-hmm. And the thing that sticks out to me today is that image of God has rejected them. And it makes me wonder about. So the psalm sort of sets a picture of people pitted against one another, right? The fool and the wise. But I think in me, there is the fool and the wise, both of those things. And the psalm also says there's no one does good. I mean, all of us do not good. So what does it mean that this psalm suggests that God rejects the foolishness in me? What does it mean that the person who wrote this prayer poem thought that there was rejection for foolishness? And is that the God that I have come to know and love? The God that I've come to feel like loves me? That's what the psalm stirs up in me today. What does it stir for you?
It was the last bit where it talks about God will restore the fortunes of God's people, which I just thought was interesting, that their fortune was gone. Sort of feeling pitiable or in disaster. But God says, I'll restore your former glory or whatever back to where you belong. I don't know,
that's what stood out to you. Mm-hmm. I wonder what stands out to you as you listen today. It might be a specific word or phrase. It might be something that these words, verses stir inside you. It's worth paying attention to. We're going to listen a second time. And as Reed said earlier, we're listening for an invitation, something that God calls us to do or to be or to become. Fools say in their hearts, there is no God. They are corrupt. They commit abominable acts. There is no one who does good. God looks down from heaven on humankind to see if there are any who are wise, who seek after God. They have all fallen away. They are all alike perverse. There is no one who does good. No, not one. Have they no knowledge, those evildoers who eat up my people as they eat bread and do not call upon God. There they shall be in great terror, in terror such as has not been. For God will scatter the bones of the ungodly. They will be put to shame, for God has rejected them. Oh, that deliverance for Israel would come from Zion. When God restores the fortunes of the people, Jacob will rejoice and Israel will be glad.
I guess for me, the invitation is up at the beginning. There's some complaints about the people and they're bad, but God looks out of heaven and is looking for those who aren't. I don't know what the world was like then, but apparently it wasn't a very great place. A lot of bad behavior, and I guess I can relate. But what is God looking for? Someone who seeks after God. So someone who looks to God for direction and help, and that was the invitation to me. Oh, right. It's all doom and gloom. No one has done good. But at least for me, it was like, oh, but I could seek after God. I don't have to maintain that. If that's true of myself, I don't seek after God, then I can amend that. I can amend that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the invitation to me.
The invitation for me also comes out of those words, the phrase, call upon God. So there are those who do not call upon God, and I can be one who does call upon God, so that I can know what the potential consequences of my actions would be if I don't call on God for help, if I don't call on the divine family and seek that pathway. Here are some potential consequences. I don't think that God is going to smack or smite or smote, whatever the right
tweet,
twit. I don't think God's going to do that, but I think that my life outside of relationship with the divine family, outside of the relationship with the community of the beloved, is quite a terror, and I feel scattered. So I hear the call, the invitation to call upon God, to be connected in that relationship.
Great. Yeah. What about you?
I wonder what you hear as an invitation today. And I wonder how you will act or live within that invitation over the next days and weeks. Here we are, listening to scripture together, and in the process, listening for what the divine family might say to us. Thanks for being with us.
I'll see you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.